Welcome back to Blue Collar Speed and Repair. We got a new project. Well, kind of. This one's been hiding behind the shop for a few months now. I've had some big plans for it, and if you watched a previous video on tearing down the Rec 74, I was trying to figure out what to do with this and what to put this stuff in, and then realized I've got the perfect candidate. So can we take all of this engine, transmission, rear end, drivetrain, everything, suspension, brakes, all of it, and put it in here and make a really cool hot rod? '59 Chevrolet Apache. It was sold to us as a 58. I believe it's a 59. The 58, like hood emblem's a little bit smaller, I do believe, don't quote me. Pretty sure it's 59. We bought this from a guy on Marketplace a little while back. He had bought it from, was it Alabama?
Yes.
Found it literally in the woods. I'll try to post a picture he gave us. It was basically in this condition. He just pressure washed it. And it's something I've wanted forever. So a little backstory, my first vehicle ever, when I first got a license, was a 57 Chevrolet truck, long bed, step side, had a V8, 3-speed with a granny, 456 rear end, 3/4 ton, if I didn't say that already. All intents and purposes, it was a farm truck, and I drove it like it was a Chevelle. We hammered on that thing. We got it stuck in places it shouldn't have been. We had exhaust fall off of it. We had, what else happened to that thing? I jumped the railroad tracks. I should have died in that thing.
You got stuck going down the side of the mountain.
Yeah, it was in places it shouldn't have been. Anyway, I wish I still had that thing. I should have never got rid of it, but you know, live and learn. Anyway, I've always liked the 58 and 9 dual headlights better than the 55 through 57. And I've always liked the fleet sides better, and they're difficult to find. So when this thing came up, I had to go snag it. This one's not too bad. It is rough in places that are going to be difficult. I'm not a sheet metal guy or a bodywork guy, but it's got a look to it that I think is going to be good, especially once we shine it up and clean up some areas. So let's walk around it real quick. And we've got a lot of work to do, and a little amount of time. I already can't talk. Both front corners of the bed have a little bit of rot. Cab corners aren't too bad. This one I think is a little rougher than the other one. Both fenders down in the dog legs. There is some rust in like the grill, which I haven't decided. I might do a painted white grill. I might do chrome grill and bumpers, might look good, just to give it a little bit of shine. I don't know. That door doesn't really open, the driver's side. I don't know how long these vent windows have not been in it. They're laying in the seat. So the doors have taken the biggest hit. There's pretty good rot along there. There's more back here. Down in the bottom, pretty rough. I think the insides of the doors, yeah, all of that's pretty rough. I'm not 100% sure how to do that, like I said, or how to fix that. Like I said, I'm not really a body guy, but I don't know if we're going to buy a set of doors, try to put these skins on them, or just completely cut up the new doors for pieces. But that's way down the road. For now, I want to get the suspension in this thing, starting with the front. If you measure a square body frame, now this isn't from the accident, but in front of the front cab mount, they kick in. From there back, not this one in particular, but they stay 34 inches exactly. Outside of the frame to outside of the frame is 34 inches. That thing is 34 inches outside of the frame to the outside of the frame. So my goal here is where this kicks down and flattens out, we're going to cut it off after doing a whole bunch of measuring that I got to figure out how I'm going to do exactly. Cut those frame rails off and weld them together. So then essentially we'll have square body front suspension and brakes in a 59 Chevy truck. There is a company out there, and I forget the name. I'll try to post it or put it down below or something, where you can buy a kit to completely put a square body frame or C10 frame under a 55 through 59. But we're starting with a bent frame, obviously. She's standing in the way, always in the way. Back in frame. And this being a long bed, you would normally start with a long bed frame. And I thought about cutting this one and extending it since it's already needed repairs, but anyway, I'm going to do it this way. Is a long bed, like I said. I've kind of lost my train of thought. Let's get to work. Before we do anything else, I think we're going to kind of prep this. Got to pull the engine and transmission out of it. Brakes and all that stuff, suspension, steering, all that stuff can stay, of course. We do have to deal with like a fuel line and a brake line that runs at the back. We already pulled the harness and all that stuff off of this, but engine and transmission off. We'll set it to the side and then probably move on to, we're going to pull that front clip off. But I need this stuff out of the way so I can do some measuring and stuff like that a little easier. Same with the front clip. So let's get rocking on this. Then we'll get rocking on that. Cut, hack, weld. Hopefully it don't fall apart. All right. Gonna do some more talking real quick here before we start working. This should be pretty straightforward. Engine and transmission out. All the harness and stuff is off it, like I said. Disconnect. Disconnect power steering. Pretty straightforward. The only thing, other things that we need to deal with really is there's a fuel line running to the tank in the back. We'll have to pull that out. Split the rear brake line there after the engine and transmission's out. We'll probably disconnect it all the way up to the proportion valve, so that's not in our way. Drive shaft. Unbolt the header collectors. Pull these out. Unfortunately, these are just Summit brand headers, but they were, or excuse me, mufflers, but they were stainless, or are stainless. And this whole frame has a bit of a bow to it now, and I'm assuming when it hit on the passenger side, it had bent farther and then flexed back. But both, oh my goodness, both mufflers are split now. So it's unfortunate I'm not going to be able to reuse those. When we get to the point down the road a little bit and get this thing actually like fired up and running, we'll probably just bolt these back on just to have something. But all right, now I'm going to get to work. I screwed up. I don't have a light with me, but when I drop this engine in, I put the bolt through the motor mount this way. so I can't slide it out because the fuel pump's in the way. So I got to pop the fuel pump off so we can get those bolts out. So we should have those 2 bolts and trans mount, and then go up and get the engine hoist, yank this thing off of here. Disconnect the frame around real quick.
It's trying to drive itself.
I think this is all prepped and ready to go. Rear brake lines out, fuel lines out, all that stuff. So there's nothing hindering what we want to do here. Before we start getting into measuring and all this stuff on this one, we need to prep this, which means I think we're gonna have to pull this whole front clip off. I don't think there's definitely not an easy way to do it with the body panels on it. So we have to pull these panels off. We have to pull steering apart, bumper, all that stuff. Let's see if we can kind of strip this thing down so we can get to the frame rails and go from there. Start with the hood. Probably forgot to mention that there's no engine in this. It does have a trans just kind of laying in there. I have a ratchet strap in place. I believe it was 3-speed on the column. Obviously that's all going to come out, but yeah, no engine to deal with, none of that. So 4 9/16 bolts. I'm sure this hood's heavy. You going first or am I going first?
Me.
All right, nice big engine compartment. I'm gonna have to pull the hood hinges off. This spring is broken and gone. Gonna have to pull this spring off, which is probably gonna fight, but it does bolt to the cab and the fender, so we gotta get that whole thing out of the way. Probably go ahead and strip the battery tray off. That's half gone anyway. Got to figure the steering column out. I think the column's just gonna come out of it. I think we take everything off of inside and pull it out the bottom. So maybe we do that after we cut it. I'm not 100% sure. We will see. Other than that, we got, I don't know if you can see them down there. There's a couple bolts in the inner fender that go to the cab. Couple core support bolts up here. Bumper's got to come off, and then there should be some bolts back this area somewhere that I got to find. Let's get to it. Not sure the best way to do this and not hurt myself. It's not a good angle. All right, climbing in. I wouldn't worry about those. I would just do these. We'll get the front clip off and then we'll pull them off together. Got part of the battery tray out. Yeah, scrap pile. All right. All right, that needs a battery. Let's get this thing wrapped up. Get the bumper off. Excuse me. The front core support mount we just took out. I feel like it'd probably be easier to get the inner fenders from in the fender. And then we'll find out where the other bolts are that bolts the fenders of the cab. All right, get a look underneath this thing. It's actually the first time we've had it in the air as well. First time we're actually seeing underneath it. It's like stock shocks, all stock stuff under the front. I'm pretty sure this was an old farm truck or something. There's the cute little 3-speed, tiny little thing. There's that little bit of rot in the fenders. The floors actually look really good though, which I'm excited about. Oh, this has a panel that comes out. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, I was worried about this not actually having a trans tunnel. So we'll have to look into that. But yeah, everything looks pretty normal for what it is, I guess. Rear end, I don't really care. It's got some overload springs on it. That's kind of cool. And still got the spare tire hanger. And a pretty wild hitch setup. What is that, like 3/8 strap? All torched together. Or well, torched and then welded together. Pretty neat. Obviously we gotta do some work with the bed floor and the rear of the frame and all that stuff. All the fuel lines, all the brake lines, all these park brake stuff is all gonna get stripped off of it. As well as a master cylinder. I'd like to find a kit. I know that somebody makes a kit to do a like a swinging park brake under the dash. Maybe we can fab something or find something or whatever. We'll get to that. We're a long ways from all that stuff. Anyway, all right, as far as fenders go, looks like bolt there, bolt there. We're gonna take the bracket off somehow. Get that out of the way. And as far as up top, I think everything's in the door jamb to get the top of the fender off, which is going to be a pain because this door doesn't open very well. Other than that, we got to figure out the steering column. Again, like I said, I'm pretty sure you take it all apart inside and everything slides out this way. We get what bolts we can down here first, and then we'll move on to that stuff. Get close here, that's that inner bolt. I have no idea if this is coming out. Probably not, but let's give it a try. That's not working.
Ooh.
That happened. Well, it's doing something. Wow.
Hercules.
Look at that.
We're getting some glare. Wow.
I'm shocked that that came out. We'll try the other side, I guess. Can we go 2 for 2?
Yep.
Don't get too excited yet. I think we're gonna be all right. Ta-da!
The rusty, crusty shower that we are getting.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good. 2 for 2.
Do
All
those
right.
bolts have to come out? Or
Yes,
is that funny?
that's. No, I think that's body. I thought those had to come out, but.
Okay.
All right. So now let's see if we can get these other ones out. I need a wrench. Can I reach it?
Hallelujah.
There's that bolt gonna come out of there, though.
Yep.
Okay.
Uno mas?
I don't speak French. Whoop. Okay.
Yay! What now?
Oh, I think bumper.
Okay.
So I sprayed all this stuff already, but it should be 2 bolts in the front and then 1 for the brace on either side. That should be all that holds the bumper on.
Okay.
I think we're good as far as fenders back there. So we just need to figure out how the top of the fenders bolt in.
Okay.
We'll skank this off real quick and then we'll try to figure that crap out. That should be free. Those 2 bolts out, we should be free now. Question now is, can the two of us lift this? This is
Sorry.
trying to talk. Got some wiring. I forgot about that.
That was easy.
Not too bad. Not too bad at all. All right, we're gonna open the door real quick, shove this thing outside. Put the front clip outside, obviously. And then we're gonna have to figure out the steering column, shift forks or shift arms, all that crap, get it all out of our way. And then we start measuring. I'm excited. All right, I did confirm, I had to look it up. I haven't actually had anything this old apart, but we need losing my train of thought. Unbolt all the stuff out here for the steering column, steering wheel, turn signal switch, that kind of stuff, all that stuff comes off rather, and then the whole column actually slides out the bottom. The box and steering column is all one piece. I'm not sure how the steering arm comes off. I'll have to look into that. That looks like it's going to be a pain in the neck. We'll get to that. So for now, we're going to pop the two shift rods off and probably get this guy off because it's in the way. And then we'll move inside. Steering wheel, turn signal switch, anything, basically anything in there. And get this thing apart. I don't know. My brain's not working. Side note, look how bad this door is. Grab the light. I have no idea what to do about that. Any suggestions, leave me a comment below. I'm scared of that. That thing all ripped apart, a little more of a fight than I thought it would be, but it is apart. I think we're pretty much ready. Might have to take the Z-bar and maybe master cylinder out. We'll get to that. Time to start making some measurements, and this is where it gets a little more critical. So I know we want to cut. I think I'm going to go off of this line. We're going to have to pull these mounts off, but I think this bolt hole should be the same on either side, obviously. Excuse me, rivet hole. That's just after it turns flat. But we need to find the axle center line in order to have a measurement off of. So basically what I want to do is that axle center line is already even in the fender. I've already looked at it, already looked fine. So we need to know where the axle center line is here to measure back to this point that we want to cut, in order to find the axle center line on that one to measure back to figure out where we need to cut that frame so that the tire ends up in the same spot. If it's a 1/4 inch either way, it's not that big of a deal. I'm not too concerned with it, but I don't want it kicked one way or the other. So I don't have a plumb bob, but I do have a nut that is tied to a string. So if we go centered to the tire, you want to stand back and look, make sure it's centered. We need to stop swinging though.
It looks centered. I mean, when it stops swinging, but for the most part, it looks like it's
Mark
centered.
that tire there. Same thing on this side. I did make sure the tires are straight, by the way.
Oh, stepped on a brake line. Okay, that's right in the middle of the US.
Okay. So if you hold this string right here,
Okay.
step through all this stuff here. Now how do I have to transfer it to the frame? Looks like it's right in line with here. What do you think?
Yeah, or like right.
Like I said, if it's a 1/4 inch one way or the other, it's not that big of a deal.
It might be back just a tiny bit, but nothing
All right.
crazy. Now your string back.
Yeah. Now,
Oh, do I need to stay over here?
come on, work. No, that's gonna make a mess.
Yep.
Mark the center of that. Center of that. So that'll be our cut line. Now what we need to do is make sure we have a measurement from there to there, so then we can transfer that measurement to there.
Okay.
30 3/4. Now if we measure the other side, hopefully it's the same. It is. Of course, that was at a slight angle, but I don't know how else to do this. And I'm no professional. I'm an idiot with a toolbox. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm guessing.
We're all just guessing.
We're all just guessing. All right. Actual center line on this one. Measure back. What was it? 30 3/4.
I don't remember. Think so.
Great.
I thought you said 30, 34, something like that. I don't know.
30 3/4.
I was holding the camera, okay?
All right.
Guess we could have used that on the other one too, right?
There's not really a flat spot to put it though.
What do you need me to do?
I don't know. I think we're gonna be back into that. Dang it.
It's basically where that bracket is.
Yeah.
Well, this is just for measurement, right?
Well, it needs to be right though.
Yeah.
We can measure off the bolt hole though. That should be exactly the same off either side.
Oh, that one right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's take this guy.
I don't know what you do with your phone.
All right, if we go from front of the bolt, that is exactly 1 1/4 inches. So if we add 1 1/4 inches to our 30 3/4, we're right at 32, exactly, right? So if we measure back 32 from here, we end up in the cab mount.
Which makes sense because we're in the cab mount on that one.
Yep. Shucks. I did not want to pull this cab off. Realistically, the only thing attached is the brake pedal. That is the only thing attached to the cab, and 4 cab bolts. I just don't know if those 4 cab bolts are actually going to come out. That is my worry. I did not want to pull the cab off, but it looks like we're pulling the cab off.
Sounds like a good time.
Oh, Lord.
The fun we have together.
All right. Why are we doing this again?
Because lower trucks are cool.
They are. So, what I originally had in mind for this thing was like full, complete build. I did plan on putting an LS in it. I planned on doing airbags. I wanted this thing laying on the ground, probably Detroit steel wheels or something like that. But that stuff's expensive. Mustang 2 front end is $3,500, $4,000 for a halfway decent one. I am filthy. You know, and then you get into rear end and all that stuff, and then you're just cutting and welding on a factory frame. You could do roaster shop, chop and block. Several other companies that build a full frame that are all boxed and all that, but big money. So decided to go this route. Essentially, we could always put C10 airbags in the C10 front end. We can always build a 4-link for the rear and put airbags in it, and probably get this thing on the ground or pretty dang close to anyway. I mean, if you just look, this frame rail's straight. I mean, as in it doesn't dip down. It doesn't dip down at all. And then you look at that. Essentially, that frame rail is going to come all the way up here anyway.
So we're going to get the lower.
So we're going to get the front of this thing way low anyway. And then we can do whatever we want with the rear. It doesn't really matter. So just a little behind the scenes. I did have a plan for this, and I was working on making that plan come true. But again, that's a lot of money, and I already had that stuff. And again, I could have bolted that onto another C10 or whatever, and it would have been just fine, but it's kind of boring content, right? So, I guess we're pulling a cab.
So we spray bolts and let them soak?
Yeah. We're going to hose all this stuff down. It's lunchtime. We're going to grab a bite to eat real quick. And again, it's brake pedal, 4 bolts. We should be able to just roll this back, lift the cab off of it, and then just leave it in the air while we do this work.
Okay.
All right, plan. All right, back from lunch. Trying to get to the rear cab bolts. End up yanking the tank out. I don't know how the back of this cab is not completely rotted out. Cool thing is the factory jack sitting over there with the factory crank. That's kind of neat. Look at this cab corner though. It's completely full. There should be a hole down at the bottom of the cab. Anyway, we're gonna grab a vacuum, clean this up, see if we can find the top of the back bolts. The front bolt is right here. It broke loose, but we got to get a wrench on top for us to be able to take the bolt out. So I'll give us a couple minutes, clean this up. Should be as simple as getting these 4 bolts out. Simple as getting these 4 bolts out and disconnect the brake lever, and then we should be able to lift the cab off. Then we can finally get to doing what we started this morning. All right, got the cab unbolted. Front is just a nut and bolt. Not that big of a deal. Can you grab the light wherever it went? All right, front's just a nut and bolt. Not that big of a deal. She held the wrench up top. I unbolted from the bottom. There's no steering wheel to hold it now. Rear uses this captured nut, which, get the light in the way here. Uses this captured nut, which immediately bent up and didn't really capture anything anymore. The nut itself is a 15/16 wrench, so same thing. Had her hold it with a wrench, pop those out, not that big of a deal. We did order cab mounts. Obviously, you might as well put new on. Of course, they won't be here for a week or so. I think the only thing left is unbolting the brake pedal. Take that bolt out, and I think we can put the lift arms under the sides of the cab. Hopefully it's not too front heavy like the other one was. I didn't think about that. And try to lift this thing off here. Let me get that nut off real quick. All right, how the lift arm's kind of funky, just because these rear legs are too long to get under it the way I'd like it to. Brain's not working again, but we should be good. So if you take this thing up, I'll keep an eye out, and hopefully it don't fall off. Go ahead. Stop. I'm gonna have to roll the chassis back a little. That's as far as we get because it's hitting the brake lever. Yep. Okay, stop there. No, it doesn't feel front heavy. That's just the legs kind of wobbling around. But once it's in the air, we shouldn't have to touch it. Go ahead. Should be good. Okay. There it is.
There's a little more rock in this corner.
Yeah, I saw that while I was underneath. Little more rot in the corners than we thought. That's all right. We'll worry about body stuff later. Oh, I guess I didn't show that very well, did I? Because I kind of turned it. Sorry. I'm still new at this.
Do you want to go up just a hair? Or
it should be fine wherever. You can go all the way up, or
right. Probably when I got the log, right?
Yeah. Okay. As long as it don't fall on our head, we should be good. All right. Do some measuring and figure out where to cut this thing. All right. I think we decided 32 inches exactly from the front of this hole, which if you look, it puts it basically right in the middle of this mount. So I get to do my favorite thing in the whole wide world, and that's air hammer a bunch of rivets off. The good thing is these holes will still be here because the back part of the frame will still be here. So we can line those up easily, bolt it on, and then just drill new holes and bolt those back on, and then the cab should all line up without issue. As well as we're going to take the brake master cylinder out, and we're not going to be using that. So that can come out, which looks like a couple more rivets. Yay. And yeah, and then we'll measure 6 or 8 times, cut it wrong, and it'll dog leg going down the road. Got all these air hammered off. That is a terrible, terrible job. It's not any fun at all. Got it done though. Hit around the area with a wire wheel a little bit. Got those mounts off as well because obviously they were in the way also, because nothing is ever easy. So I think from here we confirm our marks, confirm our number. We know we want to be center of that bolt hole was the plan. So let's confirm that measurement, transfer that measurement over here. I think we're ready to cut and weld. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. If that's dead on that guy. All right. Mm-hmm. It's more like 30 and 5/8 than 3/4.
I want to double check the other side.
1/8 inch isn't going to be that big of a deal, but ow.
Sorry. This one has some eyelashes.
Yeah, 30 and 5/8. It's more like.
How did that end up happening?
I think. I think that's part of the engine harness nylon stuff.
Oh. Okay, so I need to calculate in 5/8 instead of 3/4, right?
So, well, basically all we need to do, we already have our lines marked with a pin.
Yeah.
$30 and 5/8.
We didn't mark on
Oh,
that
that's
side.
right.
Or from the hole.
Plus 1.25 inches to the hole. That's right, I remember now.
Okay, so we're doing the hole.
Yeah, very front of the hole.
Okay.
All right, so 30 and 5/8 plus 1.25 inches. 31 7/8.
So what are you doing now?
Confirm our number. Measure from the front of this hole. Inch and 9/16. What was it? Inch
And 9/16.
and same. All right. So now we use a square wherever I put that at now.
Right there on the tire.
Right there. That. Wish paint pens work like paint pens were supposed to. It must be, whatever it is. Oh, wow. Got it now. I'm gonna mark this inside edge also, just so I have a reference.
So is the paint pen working like a paint pen should now?
Yeah, and then some. All right. Gotta wipe the dirt off first, I guess.
Maybe that's why it doesn't work like it should.
Now, happy? All right. Now we need to support the back side of the frame on both of those. Cut. We'll bevel the edges so we get a good weld. And weld them together. I think that's pretty much it. This is the part where I tell you I'm not a professional. If you're watching this video as a instructional video, it's not. I promise you that. We are winging it as usual. I did zero research other than the fact that I know both frames are the same width. That's all I know. So I figure it should work. All right, let's ruin both of them.
I'll watch you.
All right. All right, I'm gonna try to cut the bottom first, kind of blind. And then I'll cut up the side on both of them. And then I'm going to put a little pressure on the jack. I just don't want the wheel to get bound up.
Okay.
Which it might anyway.
I can put some pressure on the front if you need me to.
Changed my mind mid-cut there. I cut down the side, made a reference kind of notch on the inside edge, cut down the side, and then I used that. I could look from the inside to kind of line it up. Again, not a professional. All right.
Which sides?
This side. That's what I didn't want to happen. Lift the pressure off of that a little bit.
Let it off?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Come over here.
Okay. What do you need me to do?
Put a foot right here. You can see that twist already?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I might need you to put a little pressure on the front so it doesn't.
Okay.
Got it. Guess you didn't have to put any pressure on the front.
Hacking up a perfectly bad C10 frame.
All right. I think I cut it fairly straight. As long as I cut that one just as crooked, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right, let's put a jack stand under this.
Okay.
I know I'm yelling because I got earmuffs on, I'm sorry. Then we'll have to figure out how to do that one because that frame's so much higher.
Yeah.
Same deal. Can we make it in one wheel?
I think we can do it. We're almost there.
Got it.
The lift's got it.
All right, rolled this front clip outside out of our way. I spent a couple minutes kind of cleaning up all the gunk, the rustiness and whatnot, the scale off the frame where we're going to weld, as well as cleaning it up. And I did put a little bit of a bevel so we get good penetration. Same thing on this one. I cleaned up the powder coat a little bit, back a little ways so we don't affect our weld. And now it's time to roll this guy over there. There are some other ways to do this. You could Z-cut it. I know that's a real popular way to do it, and I'd never get that correct ever. I decided to go this way because it's the easiest, really. I don't think I mentioned I do plan on doing a fish plate across the inside. We'll probably weld this and grind it kind of smooth. It doesn't have to be perfect, I don't care. But and then we'll plate the inside edge or the inside of the frame rail for strength. This isn't a race car. It's not going to end up on a track. It's not going to end up on a a drag strip, anything like that. It's just a driver or fun toy, 400-ish horsepower toy. But yeah, I'm not too concerned with strength. I think it's going to be fine. I did actually measure something I forgot to do that I didn't even think about it. As far as the height of the frame rail, they're both the same. And the width of the frame rail, they're both the same. So this should just weld right up, in theory. Ready? Sure. All right, where's the tripod? There it is.
So what's the plan?
Roll. Well, we will. Something like that work?
Just taking your friend for a walk.
Oh,
Just park. What am I even here for?
not helping, that's for sure. All right, now comes the tricky part, and that's getting it all lined up.
Got it.
That's pretty close right there.
This is where the jack comes in?
Yeah, so now from here, I need you to jack the back up, and I'll bring this down. The welding cart has all those C-clamp things. You got a ways to go.
Okay, I'm gonna need a block. There's one here. Hold on.
All right, well, we're close. The frame rail is just a hair taller, actually, on the seat end. Not the end of the world, I'm not too concerned with it. Frame rails do have a little bit of a tweak to it. You can see that side's off. I think we're gonna put a couple tacks on this side, probably 4, 5, 6 good ones. And then go to line that side up and then tack all that, and then we'll buzz everything. But you can see already how much lower this thing's gonna sit. And of course that's without an engine and transmission, and the cab's not sitting on it, the front clip's not sitting on it. Compressor just kicked on, sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna drag the welder over here, we'll put a couple tacks on, we'll see about lining up the other side, and we should be close. All right, a couple good tacks on that. Let's go see about lining the other side up.
Okay. Well, we're putting a plate in anyways.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do cutoff wheel across the bottom of probably this one. In fact, I can see this one goes this way.
Yeah, you can almost tell from the outside.
Yeah. I think that's what I did. I must have, when I lined up the square on,
Driver's side?
yeah, that's what it was, because that rivet was sticking out.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to massage this one just a little bit with a cutoff wheel and see if we can get this a little closer. And then we'll remeasure before we tack it in place. But it should be good. All right, made a cut. And I did put a tack on it so it stayed in place, but I did a bunch of measuring. So like this hole is the same on each side of the frame rail to here. We did from our line that we added. We did from the front here to the hole on the 59 frame. We are a 1/16 of an inch long on that side. Good enough for me. I'm not too concerned with it. 1/16 of an inch. This thing was probably more than a 1/16 of an inch off from the factory. Let's be honest. So I'm going to buzz this together, and I did end up with a little bit of a gap here, which I'm not overly happy about, but it is what it is. We are going to fish plate the inside, so it's not too much of a concern. So yeah, let me weld this up, and then we'll see about building some fish plates. And I am tired, so let's get this done. All right, can you turn the wire speed up like half a notch?
Give me just a second. I'm going to try and pull this a little closer for you.
I really need longer leads for my welder. Hand me those blue gloves. Hands are getting hot.
Do you want me to shine it for you, or you got it?
Alright, not the prettiest, but it'll work.
How do you do the bottom?
I'm going to wait to do the bottom until we put the cab back on, or at least just set it on here and then lift it up in the air so I'm not laying here in the dirt.
Oh, okay.
So let me buzz that side together real quick. I'm not even sure if I care about grinding this down. Nobody's really going to see it. I might hit the flat disc on it just to smooth the top edge off, but I'm not going to worry about like smoothing it and making it all showroom quality.
Okay.
I'm not too concerned with it.
As long as we can get cab mounts on it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take the flat disc, like I said, and just go over the top of these real quick. And then we got a rivet to finish getting out here. Cab mounts. Voila. It's like it never happened, especially with a little black paint on it. And cab mount's going right over the top of it anyway. So I think from here, we'll bolt on the 3 bolts that we can bolt on. Mark and drill the other 3 on each side. Man, those are close. That sucks. It's really close to the other ones. Be nice if it just, fit. All right, bolt these on. We're gonna set the cab back in place. And then, my phone drain in my pocket. And then do the fish plate. All right, we're gonna set the cab back in place. Got the holes drilled and cab mounts all bolted on. Just want to set the cab on so we can get the whole thing back on the lift. I want to weld the inside of those welds and then clean those up and do our fish plates. And then hopefully be done with this. Unfortunately, I think when the back half of the frame flipped up, might have shifted to one side or the other. So it might take a little finagling, but let's see what happens. Are we clear?
We're close. I'll have to wait till it gets closer.
Like I said, we have cab mounts on the way. So this is just temporary. We just want to set it on here for now.
It looks like we're
Lean forward. Hang on. All right, all the way in there. Okay. Huh? I'm working on it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's twisted a little bit. That's all right. I just want it sitting on it for now. All right, I'm going to clean up the inside edges, give us some room to work, and weld them up. And then I think I'm just going to do a small plate about the size About the width of the bolts is what I'm trying to say. It's been a long day already. It's not going to take much. I mean, the cab mount already kind of acts as a fish plate already. Kind of ties everything together. Let me clean all this up. I'll run a weld down both of them, and then I have to go a little short on this side. This cab mount's a little different for some reason. I wonder why. Yeah, the brake master cylinder was on that side. All right. Weld across the bottom, weld the insides, clean it up. We'll figure something out. All right, as far as a fish plate goes, I don't know what works best, or again, if it's really necessary, but I think if we go something like 6 inches wide by about 4 inches tall, essentially it will cone down or angle down to a point on either end. Again, I've never done any of this kind of stuff before, but what I've read is a straight butt weld is not as strong. So essentially what we're doing is we're just spreading this load out, this weight out a little bit and reinforcing. So I think all I have is probably like 3/16. I don't know if I have any like 1/8 inch. I'll have to look, but cut a couple things out real quick, and again, we're just going to reinforce it a hair and finally be done. I know I keep saying that, but it's been a long day, and I'll keep it in my head. All right, found some 1/8 inch. Essentially, this is what I came up with. So this will go in here. Again, this is just to support our front frame here. I hit all this with some, what do you call that stuff? Weldable primer. The backside's already painted, so I'm not too concerned with it. So, buzz those in real quick, and we can set this thing on the ground. See what it looks like. I'm excited. More welding. All I'm doing is welding. It's all right. It's gonna work. I'm gonna have to lower this a bunch so I can see something.
Okay. All right, well, for weldable primer, it did not weld very well. I have had that stuff for a while, but that should be plenty strong for what we're doing with this thing. Like I said, it's not gonna be on a racetrack or drag strip or anything like that. It's just a toy. Just a cruise around, play around, have a good time truck. So, put this on the ground. Let's kind of get an idea of what it looks like. And we're gonna end it there because I'm tired. I let the air out of the back tires. It's still not down enough. Still not down enough. The back needs to come down a little bit more. That gives you an idea of what it'll kind of look like. I'm excited. I'm really excited. This one's been a want for me for a very, very long time. I do see a potential issue already. This bar is where the fender mounts. So I don't know if I can get enough offset on a wheel to make this fit, make this work. I know you can do narrower control arms, which kind of negates the use of all this, because this is all stuff I had and I wanted to get, use it somewhere. So let me, I imagine this truck with like a Detroit steel wheel. I don't know what their offsets are. I'll have to look into it and all that. That's probably going to be a problem, but we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. I don't know. All in all, not a bad job. It was a lot of work. It was but it was tedious work. A lot of cutting, a lot of grinding, a lot of measuring, that kind of stuff. I didn't expect to have to pull the cab off, which, whatever. It wasn't that hard. If you're working on a running driving vehicle where it's more complete, more together, it's going to be more work than that, obviously, but long way to go on this thing. Steering, brakes, fuel system, cooling system, got to get the engine transmission in, all that stuff. There's a long list on this thing, but I'm excited to actually finally start on it. I got to do some research on the rear. If we put that rear end with this leaf spring setup, I don't think just a C-notch is going to work. It's going to probably have to be step notched, which means you get into the bed and all that stuff. Again, I plan on having this thing completely sitting on the ground, which is step notch anyway, but I was hoping to kind of get away with a C-notch and make it running and driving. I don't know if that's going to happen, but if you look, if we took the coil out and put a bag in that, how much lower this thing could potentially go. I know these things can sit the rockers on the ground. I don't know if we did a bag on this, if it quite would, it'd be close. A little bit out of my wheelhouse here. I've never bagged anything, if I'm being honest. I've always wanted to do I've done like helper bags and stuff, but never like a full set of airbags. Although I have some coming up. Hint, hint. There's another vehicle with airbags coming that I'm really excited about. Hopefully soon. I don't know what's next on this. The front clip I want to put on, the engine I want to put in. But I don't have cab mounts, so I'm not sure what's going to happen. But anyway, that's going to be it for this truck, this video. I'm tired. It's been a long damn day. I've been out here for close to 12 hours now. I'm beat. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff for the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate it very much. Read all your comments. Have you done front clips before? I know Nova, Camaro, Valere, a couple other ones were real popular on 55 to 59s. I've never personally done one, but leave me a comment and send me pictures in email description below. See if you've done them. Other than that,
thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you guys very, very much. I'm excited for this thing. It's going to be several videos, I'm sure. And other than that, we will see you guys next time. I can't think of anything else to say.